Hello, and welcome to the Exponential Growth Podcast, powered by Analyst Investors. I'm your host, David Olivencia, co-founder of Analyst Investors, and a passionate advocate for leveraging innovation and technology to drive success. In this podcast, we'll dive into the strategies that top leaders, investors, and entrepreneurs are using to navigate and thrive in this era of accelerating technological change. Whether you're looking to lead more effectively, make smarter investments, or understand how to harness disruptive technologies for exponential growth, this podcast is for you. Each episode will feature conversations with visionary thinkers, industry pioneers, and innovative leaders who are redefining what's possible in today's rapidly evolving world. So if you're ready to start and stay ahead of this curve, let's get started. This is Exponential Growth. All right, everyone. Well, welcome to a special edition of the Exponential Growth Podcast. There's just so many things going on. I thought I'd take a moment here and just talk about some of the things that are on my mind, right? A lot in the AI space, which is really going to be my main point, maybe a little bit more on digital credit, but there's three things I want to touch on. Just the explosion of AI agents and some tangible things that are happening there. Want to talk a little bit about countries and what they're doing in AI and how they're competing there. And then I want to talk about, call it AI, financial transactions, and digital credit. This whole space is really exploding, and seeing a lot of things there. So just want to kind of share my thoughts and perspectives on really those three areas. I look at a lot. I have one of the world's largest, fastest growing angel investing groups in Analyst Investors. And then we also have a $20 million venture fund. So I get a view of how startups are looking to disrupt in the areas that they're working in. I also read a lot, and it's amazing what's happening out there in terms of AI and AI agents. So that's the first one I want to touch on, which is AI agents. FedEx just announced that they're going to create an army of AI agents to complement and co-pilot their workforce and work right alongside them. And it's not indifferent from what I'm seeing in terms of people setting up AI agents as part of their workforce, right? The amazing thing with AI agents is they can, and you see this with Claude Bot and all this kind of stuff, they can perform pretty much the tasks of humans, but they can scale rapidly, right? You can create one, and actually it's getting to the point where the agents themselves can create other agents, and you can then create not only 5, 10, 5,000, 500,000 agents at a very small cost to do a lot of this work. So I put out posts about the future of work and workforce, and you're seeing announcements happen, whether it's Block and what they've I don't know, released 30% of their workforce, 10,000 employees. You're seeing these employees because they're trying to get ahead of what's coming with AI agents. Yes, there'll be new jobs and new activities to do, but there will be continued volatility, and I predict more job losses coming over the next months, years. The other one was Adobe. You'll see this with Adobe. Adobe CEO, amazing company. The CEO has been around 18 years. And he's basically saying, hey, this is a different time. Maybe I'm not the right leader. And, he stepped down. And Adobe's been under a lot of pressure. A lot of the software companies have been under a lot of pressure. I wrote about this in my last Exponential Growth newsletter. But you've seen the CEO of Adobe step down. And then Uber. So the employees within Uber decided to create an AI agent that is replicates or clones their CEO. It's called Dara AI, named after the first name of the CEO, and it mimics his personality, his feedback style, the way he makes decisions, so that they can pitch ideas and get feedback to the agent before they pitch in front of the CEO or go directly to the CEO, which is interesting, right? And so you can think about it. Well, if you can clone the CEO, then at one point, could you ever just replace the CEO with an AI agent and/or any employee in the organization, right? Which is another thing to think about. At least what I'm seeing and when I'm kind of taking data points and projecting out what's going to happen with these advances in technology. So this AI agent area is just something, continue to pay attention to, continue to realize how fast and easy it is going to be to create these AI agents and create tens, hundreds, thousands of these to do a lot of the work that many of us and many who are listening to this podcast do. And so as you're thinking about your company and the functions within your company and how to better compete in this world of AI agents, you cannot help but think about, plan, and strategize how AI agents become a part of your workforce. If you're not even thinking about it, you're gonna have a tough time competing over the next year, months and years. So that's AI agents, okay? Country. So I'm doing this live from in Latin America. I'm in Colombia today, and countries are doing amazing things. They're trying to be competitive. Really, the top two leaders, U.S. and China, in AI. But in India, they just announced that they're supporting LLMs, large language models, across 22 different languages, right? So India's rapidly getting behind AI and putting out models in competition there. And then if you look at other countries, Europe and others are lining up right behind, a little bit slower than I would say the US and China, who I think are light years ahead. And unfortunately, there's some other countries. I'm in Latin America. I think they're very, very, very far behind. At least country, government, infrastructure, training, building capacity. There's a lot of countries that are need to step up in this world of AI. But India has this made a major launch. They had this India AI Economic Summit this last week and made a bunch of announcements. So keep an eye on that there. But it's going to be important for countries and the leaders within countries to really make sure that they have the right infrastructure, capacity, training, laws to really compete and win in this world that we're moving deeper in with AI agents, etc. The third one and the last one I wanted to chat on was it's this area of what I'd call AI payments and digital credit. They're somewhat related. So I was talking with amazing members on my team, and we were doing scenario planning. But with AI agents, AI agents will transact with other AI agents, and there's nothing. You can imagine a world where each of us have an AI agent and it's transacting on our behalf. And that AI agent will transact with other AI agents. And then there's amazing things with data and call it data and AGI or super intelligence that AI agent, or heck, I would want my AI agent to always find arbitrage opportunities where I can borrow money at a low interest rate, invest it at a guaranteed high interest rate, and then take the spread. And those opportunities and AI agents are going to be able to do that instantly 24/7. And you can have multiple agents that are doing different functions. I could very easily have a team of 10 different agents across each asset class doing work on my behalf. Now, the interesting thing is AI agents are not going to walk into a bank and give a social security number and go to the ATM and take out cash, or go to the teller and take out cash. But what they're saying is they are going to be able to transact, through tokens or Bitcoin. A lot of the conversation has been about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and any of these other, call it cryptocurrencies. And so you're starting to see more and more infrastructure getting built around being able to enable these AI agent to AI agent transactions. Been watching a lot of what Coinbase is doing and their base platform and what other is happening there. But it's an interesting area to watch and keep an eye on. But it's all going to be powered by AI, right? And then all the infrastructure that's going to make that happen. The other one that's been getting it's somewhat related because it's related to Bitcoin and the company MicroStrategy is this explosion in digital credit. And so you have Bitcoin, and then you have this company called MicroStrategy that's really their Bitcoin treasury company, but they just launched, not just launched, but in July of this past year they launched an offering and the stock ticker called Stretch, STRC.
And this is basically what Michael Saylor, the CEO of MicroStrategy, is calling digital credit. Uh, right now, I think when it started, it was maybe doing 7, 8% annual dividend. Now it's doing about 11.5% annual dividend, right? And in this market of a lot of volatility, all the stuff that's going on in the world, uh, some issues out there with private credit, people are looking and saying, "Hey, I want something low volatility that can give me a great return," right? And a lot of people have gotten that with bonds, but bonds, these bonds are, the 4, 5, maybe 6% ish. And here's an offering called digital credit that's backed in a sense by MicroStrategy and Bitcoin, offering 11.5%. Now, what's the where's the exponential growth here? Well, this thing launched in July of 2025, and uh, and it started. They were doing about on average 100 million a day. And I'd say within the last 30, and then they started out doing about 100 million a day. Over the last 30 days, the average volume has been about 190 million a day. And then yesterday, their average volume was 300 million is what they raised as part of Stretch. So if you invest in Stretch, you get this 11%, 11.5% annual dividend paid monthly. And then what MicroStrategy, they're taking that money, they're using that to buy Bitcoin. So, and they're calling it digital credit. And it's had explosive growth, right? So again, going from about 100 million now to 300 million in a day. Um, the interesting thing is if you look at call it the overall credit markets, right? You got 300 trillion or so in these credit markets, and that 300 trillion, you can do your own research, but a lot of the returns on these credit instruments are anywhere from, I don't know, 4, 5, 6. You start going into junk bonds and other things, maybe 7, 8. Private credit, I think, even gets a little bit higher, but as they had a little bit some trickiness of late. And then they're saying, hey, there's this asset tied to Bitcoin that's doing about 11.5%. So all I would say is just keeping an eye on this one, watching it, and then watching how these AI agents transact. Because if they're doing transacting, they're going to be doing that in crypto and Bitcoin. Watch what that does to the crypto market. And so that's just another exponential trend. Maybe I'll be continuing to study it, writing a little bit more on it. But I find it fascinating, and just watching the exponential growth trends there. So that's it. If there's other exponential growth trends that you think I should be aware of, feel free to message them, send them to me. And I don't say thank you enough to all you who listen to me on a regular basis. Appreciate that. Special thanks to Salvi Media and the Executive House. Really check out the amazing work that they're doing, interviewing CEOs, the tech series that Marcelo DeSantis has. He's a co-founder of Analyst Investors that I lead. And so I got to thank them, right? They help with the resources to make all this stuff happen. Have an excellent weekend. Thanks for tuning in, and more to come next week.